It's a horrific scene. It's something I don't think anybody can be prepared for.
At about 1:30 p.m., a white van jumped the curb and plowed into a number of pedestrians before speeding away. First responders treated victims on the blood-stained sidewalk, and 10 patients were taken to the city's major trauma center at Sunnybrook Hospital. The emergency department under lockdown as a safety precaution because no one really knew the nature of the attack. It happened near the corner of Yonge and Finch in the city's north end. Police apprehended the white van south of the crash site and arrested the sole occupant in a dramatic confrontation. The name of the alleged driver is Alec Manassian. He's a 25-year-old from Richmond Hill, Ontario, north of Toronto. His LinkedIn profile says he's a student at Seneca College. The government says the suspect is not associated with any threat to national security. As witnesses took in the terrible chain of events, their faces were etched with the grief and horror. CBC News has learned a lot more about the suspect. More on that in a moment, but first, Joanna Remiliotis takes us through what happened.
The horror of the aftermath is in the details. The discarded paramedic gloves, the bodies still lying on the pavement. Kenneth Wu saw the van strike a woman, then locked eyes with the man behind the wheel.
He was looking at me, and then he saw that old lady, and he turned left a little bit to hit the lady on the sidewalk, and then he started driving down. As soon as he passed my car, he turned around, he looked at me face to face. That's when I saw he was a very angry and scared young guy.
Wu says the van braked, then sped off again, driving on the sidewalk for several more blocks, hitting one pedestrian after another. Kasra Ibrahimi watched in shock.
I saw the van. It was a white van. As I remember, it was exactly on the sideway, and when it gets it looks like a movie. It hits the pillar and people like fly, things like that. It was super scary. Yeah.
Nana Agyeman Badu rushed to help a woman who tried to jump out of the way.
And the lady was coming north beside the bar shelter, and she saw the car coming, and she tried to stand aside, but she was not lucky. She got pinned into the bar shelter, the grass, and she was pushed backwards, lying down with all the glasses on top of her, broken glasses on top of her with cuts.
The terror continued for several more blocks. Witnesses saw a baby stroller fly into the air, saw the van plow into a group of people before finally stopping.
I saw the light, I don't know, how can I say it, the car seat from a baby going up like that. I don't know the baby hitting or not. Hopefully the baby was fine.
After a dramatic police standoff, the man was arrested at the scene.
This is going to be a long investigation with multiple witnesses, with a lot of surveillance cameras.
Hours later, dozens of officers and the coroner were still here, assessing the carnage. The victims still here too. And people continue to line the streets. Colin Gervais lives around the corner.
I came out here to just pay my respects to these people because it could have been me easily this morning. It could have been me if I hadn't had a doctor's appointment today. If my schedule had been slightly different, it might have been me walking in front of here.
I couldn't believe that it was at basically our doorstep. It made me really nervous and sad to think that a lot of families have lost their loved one, or they didn't know where they were and they couldn't situate them. So I'm just glad that we're safe, but yeah, our hearts are with all of the families who lost somebody today.
And Joanna is here with us now. The police chief speaking this evening. What's the latest from him?
Well, the crime scene is still an active one, and it's a big one. It stretches out almost a kilometer down that way. And we spoke to a couple of officers on the scene. They're going to be here for at least a couple of days. And police are pleading with the public to send in anything that they have, any pieces, snippets of video, any eyewitness accounts, because they literally do want to piece this and construct this timeline as accurately as possible.
The question, of course, so many had as soon as this happened, and still do tonight, is motive. What do we know about that?
They're not speaking specifically about motive. They're not ruling anything out yet. But here's what the Toronto's police chief had to say about motive.
We're all putting our pieces together to see exactly what we have. And at this particular point in time, there's nothing that does affect the national security footprint. We are looking very strongly to what the exact motive or motivation was for this particular incident to take place. And at the end of the day, we will have a fulsome answer and we'll have a fulsome account as to what the conclusion of this is.
I will just say to people that I hope that they will understand, as I know they do, people who live in the city, who have come to the city from around the world. This kind of tragic incident is not representative of how we live or who we are or anything to do with life in the city on a day-to-day basis. And that I hope people will reflect on that, will reaffirm that, will go to work tomorrow and perhaps offer, as sometimes is the case in churches, a sign of peace to each other, just in some small way to acknowledge that we're going to carry on with heavy hearts, but that we're going to carry on with a life that is admired around the world, and that we will do that in the way that Torontonians do things.
People across the country are thinking about what's happening here in Toronto and are thinking about the families and the victims. So I just want to again thank everyone who has been so ready to support, and to encourage anyone who has information, as the mayor and the chief have said, to come forward.